Hello everybody, how's it going? Been a little while since I've done a video with the Crown Vic, and I apologize if it's windy in the background. I'm kind of in the middle of an old airfield, so there's really nothing around here to block the wind. So, really haven't had to do much to the car. I did have to get the blend door motor switched over to cold since the blend door actuator is seized up, but I'll probably get that replaced in the spring because I plan on storing this car for the winter time. I'm looking at getting an old Toyota Corolla or something like that just to beat around for the winter time. And funnily enough, the amount of gas that I'll save driving a Corolla will more than make up the added insurance that it is added on for me. So something I'm going to get into. Do I recommend a Crown Victoria Police Interceptor for you to purchase? Why and why not? So, if you live in a downtown city or something like that, I'm probably not going to recommend a Ford Crown Victoria to you or any type of Panther platform, to be honest. In the city, they are not going to be good on gas. Even my last Crown Victoria struggled downtown Halifax to get more than 16, 17 mile per gallon. And a police interceptor is even about 10% to 15% less mile per gallon than a Ford Crown Victoria civilian model or Eco Grand Marquis. So if gas is a big concern for you, I would not suggest one of these vehicles. Maintenance cost on mine specifically has been fairly low, except for the fact I had to change out every single fluid in the car. Only thing left is power steering and brake fluid. I'm not too worried about that. I'll get those in the springtime. After the car is done being stored and out of storage, I'll get the oil changed again, and the brake fluid and the power steering fluid to catch it all up. The transmission and everything else important has been done. And it'll also need new tires, since the Goodyear Eagle RSAs on it, which are technically pursuit rated, are not very good tires from the get-go, and these ones are starting to weather just a little bit. So I haven't had to do a whole lot to the car. So like I said, if gas is a concern for you, I would not suggest one of these vehicles. Now, if comfort, reliability, and having a little bit of fun in a car is something that you look for, then a Crown Vic is definitely something that you can look at, as long as gas isn't a concern. And yes, I know getting more than 20 mile per gallon on the highway for a 2-ton V8 is considered decent. However, this day and age of gas prices being somewhat higher, at least they are here in Canada, and I don't know about the United States, but it can make it costly. That 21, 22 mile per gallon you'll get on the highway with these on average does add up. Versus, say, your 4-cylinder Camry, Corolla, or Honda Civic, for example. So like I said, gas will be your biggest issue. Comfort, I took a 5.5 to 6 hour drive in this a couple weekends ago, and albeit my butt really didn't start getting sore until about the last hour of the drive, and the drive back was about 7 hours because of a massive rainstorm, and you could not go fast at all. Durability on this, haven't had any actual issues with the car besides the blend door actuator and behind the dashboard seizing up, which the dealer quoted me $766 to replace. However, I'm lucky my friend will be able to do it for me, because the dealer is going to go by the book value and not what it will actually take them, because the dealer is most likely going to reach in behind the airbag as well to replace it. So like I said, those are kind of some things to look at for the Crown Vic. If you live in the snow belt, rear-wheel drive isn't necessarily the best. However, with a good set of Bridgestone Blizzak winter tires or something very good like that, you won't really have too many problems. I do suggest adding at least 100 to 150 pounds in the back. Keep in mind, every winter I've driven, I've had open differential, 273 rear end, and I haven't really had too many issues. Sometimes my one tire will get stuck on ice and the other one will be on dry pavement, which does cause a problem. But besides that, the cars are not bad in the snow. I'd say they're better than some front-wheel drives, but a lot of front-wheel drives are a bit better than the Crown Vic. The Crown Vic does, however, have ride height going for it compared to most cars, so it can get through a bit more snow. The only spot it will struggle a lot more than a front-wheel drive is going up a hill, because it's getting pushed instead of getting pulled. If you're on a flat surface, then I'd say I'd take the Crown Vic over a front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is always going to win in the winter, let's be honest here. The other thing I'm trying to think of, there's not a whole lot of negatives about this car besides the gas mileage, and if you live in a downtown area the size, lots of positives like comfortable ride. Not a whole lot of road noise until you get to about above 65, 70 mile per hour. Then some of it, that is the tires as well. These cars aren't the best insulated in the police model. I mean, it is what it is. They cut down on costs a little bit, and that's just the way it goes. My car is very lucky to have been an old administrator car, because I will warn you guys, one thing you're gonna have to watch out for in an old cop car is the transmission. Luckily on mine, got the transmission fluid all changed out and all that, no issues, and that was over 2,000 miles ago. The one thing you can notice on mine, it's been in a slight accident because the bumper doesn't quite match up, and nor does the paint. If you look at it, the paint's a little rough over here compared to the original fender. I'll probably get that repainted, and eventually I'll get a new fender, because this is not an OEM quality fender. It's not that great. I'll eventually get a new fender put on it, but I'm really not that concerned. If you live in a rust area, I'm going to show you the areas where these cars rust. So first of all, right around the driver's side fender, most common area no matter what. Then the other place you're going to look is right underneath the doors. There likes to be a lot of rust. Luckily this doesn't have any on this door, but because it was sideswiped at one point in its life, the paint job on it was really crappy. There's no paint on the inside of the door, just the outside where the paint flaked off. So that's the couple of the common areas. Then when you come around here to the rear dog legs, it likes to rust in here. That's not rust, that's a bunch of undercoat that was put on it to keep it from flaking the paint off underneath, which is a good protectant to use. Sometimes under the gas cap you'll get a bit of rust. This one doesn't really have any, and then along here you'll get some rust. Then same thing on this side. The only spot you got to watch for is right here in front of the wheel, because that right rear wheel spins a bit more than the rest of them. Then getting underneath the car, you're really going to want to look. This car is fairly rust free for a 2007 car in Nova Scotia. You'll really want to look at the gas can't really see it from this angle, but you'll really want to look at the gas tank straps and the gas tank to make sure it's not leaking. No issues on this one. Gas tank doesn't even look rusty. Look at that differential cover. That differential cover is the original that came on the car, and I had it cleaned up a bit when I get the differential fluid replaced. So this car is in very good shape, especially for being a salt belt car. Luckily it was stored the last 4 or 5 winters, and I plan to keep on doing that. Other thing to watch out for, intake manifold likes to go anywhere between 100 to 125,000 miles, seems to be the typical. From what I understand, it's probably going to be more expensive for me here. It sounds like most Americans after labor have to pay anywhere between $500 to $800 to get it replaced. It is a common failure. That the blend door actuator is also another common failure in these. However, my blend door actuator failed because it literally didn't get used for 4 years. The guy drove it 12,000 kilometers in a 4.5 year span. Hardly used the car at all. For you Americans, that's not even 8,000 miles in a 4-year period. So the guy had all the old fluids in it and everything. Got me getting it washed out. What else? I really can't think of anything else major to think of for you guys to watch for. And I do definitely suggest getting yourself a Crown Vic. They are a unique car. They don't make them anymore, obviously, so if you want one, now is the time, because they're getting more and more rare as time goes on, and it's just going to get to the point in a couple of years where, especially for those of us in Canada and the Northeast where all the salt's laid, you're not going to be able to find one in good condition. So if you want one, you get one now, you buy it, and you enjoy it. What else? Like I said, for tires, they are 235, 55, 17. So not the cheapest tires, so keep that in mind. But they're also a lot cheaper than what a lot of new cars come with off the dealership, because a lot of new cars are 18 and 19 inch off the dealership, or they're just wider. The Goodyear Eagle RSAs, don't adjust them as a tire. They're not very good in rain. They're okay in the dry. These have over half tread on most tires too, so I'm not coming at you and just saying they're crap. They're not that great compared to most tires I've driven on. I'm going to probably replace them with some Michelin Sports or some Cooper Sport tires in the springtime. Like I said, they're also getting old too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really don't know what to talk to you too much about because I'm keeping this car stock. I'm trying to keep the miles off it a little bit, but it's hard where it's my daily driver right now. Hoping to get that changed so it's just my fun car. Like I said, I really don't have a whole lot planned for the car because it's just staying as you see it right here. And it's also got a weird color code. It's called Driftwood Beige, and I've never heard of it on a cop car. And I also looked up the color code just to make sure. And where the heck was it here? Paint code P2, I think if I remember right, means Driftwood Beige. So yeah. The car right now is 129,000 kilometers, so it's barely 80,000 miles. I got a small stain in the seat I got to get out from when I was driving the other day. Got floor mats in the car. Still very clean all around, really. Oops, locked the back door. Like I said, the car never even had a cage, so I got very, very lucky with this one. You can see no cage marks or anything anywhere, so very lucky to have this car and have found it, and it's treated me well. It's been a bit expensive getting it caught up to maintenance. I haven't had to do anything for a while now though. Thankfully, the last couple weeks, because I got the AC recharged, blend door switched over to cold, so now I get AC and all that fun stuff. Just don't have it able to switch over to heat yet until I get the actual blend door fixed. But really besides that, the car hasn't given me any actual problems. It's just been the fact that I caught up on all the maintenance after I purchased the car, which added up. But generally you will kind of want to do that with most cars you buy, unless if it's just going to be a daily beater and that's it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about, because I honestly don't know what you guys want to see. I don't know if you want to see a driving video or what. So hope you guys enjoyed it and have a good night.